Yo, what's going on, guys? Johnny GB here, bringing you guys my Week 4 battle of the ICBA, the International Battling Competitive... Bleh, I can't talk today. The International Competitive Battling Association. The Oregon Duckletts are 3-0 now. Regarding last week's battle, we were awarded a forfeit win versus the Worcester Walreins, so that advanced us to 3-0 with a +9 differential. This week, we are taking on another divisional opponent. We are 2-0 right now against the division opponents, I believe, with a win over Techno and a win over Equa via forfeit. Actually, I think Techno's in a different division. Let me double check that real quick. I have the doc open, actually. False. We actually have we do have two divisional wins. We have a win versus the Newcastle Umbreons and Abe, and we have a win against the Worcester Walreins and their coach, Equa. Now, this is to complete the season sweep inside the division, a very important game because we no longer play divisional opponents for the rest of the season. So, this game against Spanik is actually a very important one. If I win, if my cards are played right, I can end up advancing into the playoffs fairly easily. But if we lose, it's a little bit more work. As Spanik, I believe, is 2-1. Let's see. Let's find Spanik's team. Yes, it looks like Spanik's team is 2-1. Yes, so 2-1 versus 3-0, so it's a very close matchup. You guys see on his screen, he has the Mimikyu, which if you guys see, look at my team, look at my Fairy Resist, doesn't exist. He brought the Kangaskhan, the Landorus Eye, which I'm expecting Choice Scarf. Really expecting Choice Scarf Landers. So I have the Choice Scarf Greninja sitting in the back. Now, in Team Prep, this was supposed to be Expert Belt, but he has stuff that can set up or be a reliable Choice Scarfer. Terrakion, Mimikyu, Landorus. So I do need my Greninja to outspeed those because, I mean, his Greninja switch-in isn't very reliable. And he has the Arcanine, which, I mean, makes sense. I do have some physical attackers. It makes a good switch-in to get the Intimidate off. He has the Mega Metagross, which, I mean, I'm fairly prepared. I mean, I have Seismitoad that can switch in if it doesn't have Grass Knot. I have a static defensive Zapdos with Yachi Berry. I have a Zelf and Greninja as checks. If I can get Salamence set up, Salamence is a check at +1 speed, so I have the checks and the switch-ins to an extent for Mega Metagross. And then we have our Terrakion. He has the Terrakion, which, I mean, just destroys through my team. I have very few Stone Edge switch-ins. So we're going to hop right into the battle here. A little bit of an extended preview for the battle here. And he's actually going to lead off with his Terrakion, as I'm actually going to lead off with my Seismitoad. Now, him leading off, no, he leads off with his Mimikyu. Now, this first turn, he does have somewhat of a misplay, I'm not going to lie. He forgot about the timer in the Wi-Fi battle and ended up getting timed out into Destiny Bond. So, my turn 1 play was just to go for Toxic because he doesn't want to switch into Scald or anything. And I just want to wear down this Mimikyu with the Toxic damage. So, we're able to connect the Toxic. Mimikyu's now going to get weakened. And now, he's forced out. I wasn't sure why. And he actually goes out into his Terrakion, as I do get up my Stealth Rocks. I did not see any removal on his side of the, on his team, so Stealth Rocks are a very nice thing to have against his team, really just weakening stuff. Here he's actually going to go for the close combat. I was going to stay in and actually click Earth Power here, because Seismitoad, I don't have a reliable switch in to anything Terrakion wants to do. He's going to take Rocky Helmet, Life Orb damage, and now at -1, this Earth Power will kill the Terrakion. So Seismitoad, turn 2, already picking up a kill, being very reliable now. Now here comes the Metagross. I did not want to switch out. I wasn't going to really force the issue with anything. I could predict Grass Knot and go out into my Alolan Muck, but I don't want to have my Air Balloon pop, so sacking off my Seismitoad here was the best play, as he does show the Grass Knot, which will take out the Seismitoad, and he will actually be taking the Rocky Helmet damage, which is very important damage for later on in the game. But this allows me to go out to my Choice Scarf Greninja to scare out this Metagross. Now, I had him thinking I'm Expert Belt or I am a Z move, when in case I actually am Choice Scarf, just in case he does have Choice Scarfed Landorus sitting in the back. I'm just going to click Dark Pulse. He doesn't have a Dark Resist now that Terracion's gone, and even then, I do have other solutions for Terrakion. I'm just going to go out to my Muck now because I'm not sure what this Kangaskhan wants to do at all. I'm not too familiar. I know it's a Wish Passer. I know it gets Elemental Punches, but there's not much I really know Kangaskhan does. And this allows me to actually get a free knockoff. There's no reason I can't go for a knockoff here to get rid of any item. He's going to go out to his Arcanine. He's going to get the Intimidate, which is fine. But this allows me to get my knockoff going, get rid of the leftovers from this Arcanine. And I know he's going for the Morning Sun here, so this does give me a free switch out to my Zapdos to really deal with this Arcanine. And there he does show the Morning Sun, so we're in a very good spot here. And now I'm able to actually just click Discharge. He doesn't have a electric immunity on his team, or anything that really wants to switch into a Discharge. He's going to actually show the Fire Blast, which will take out a good chunk of my Zapdos' health. It brings Zapdos to about 60%. Now I'm actually just going to go for a Discharge again because he can't really take these very well. And I end up getting the Paralysis, as he's going to connect the second Fire Blast, putting me in range actually of Extreme Speed, and he does get paralyzed on the turn he tries going for Extreme Speed. I'm actually able to get a Roost off, get my Zapdos to decent amount of health. But it really isn't enough, and actually I mistook it. I am not Yache Berry Zapdos, I'm actually Charty Berry Zapdos. This is mostly so that I can take a hit from the Terrakion, which is now essentially useless, as he's just going to go out to his Metagross, which will pick up a very easy kill with the Ice Punch. Again, I don't have anything to switch into it, and I don't want to switch anything into this Metagross. It comes in, and I basically pick and choose my sack now. I was really hoping for the static here. It would have made the Metagross a lot easier to play around, pretty much just cutting its speed essentially in half. But here comes Greninja, just being able to check it. All he has really is the Kangaskhan to switch out into, which is okay, but with the Stealth Rock damage and now Dark Pulse damage, it's really just making it hard for this Kangaskhan to keep switching in, and it allows me to just go out to my Muck because my Muck can deal with it. But I go actually Azelf here, predicting the Drain Punch, and I know I resist it, so Azelf can actually scare out a lot of his threats on his team. And I got a little bit greedy here on this turn. I actually clicked Nasty Plot, expecting his Kangaskhan to switch out because he needs it to switch into Greninja. And I forgot about the Mimikyu here. I have a Cassid Berry, so I can take a Shadow Sneak from this thing. So I can Shadow Ball. If he wants to set up a Swords Dance. I can take a +2 Shadow Sneak with the berry. But instead he shows Shadow Claw and that he's Choice Scarfed. So I'm like, oh boy, I'm in a little bit of an issue here. I wanted to make sure I did break this Mimikyu's disguise. Had I just gone for the Shadow Ball, or just an attack in general against the Mimikyu switch in versus the Kangaskhan, I probably would be in a much better spot. I would still have my Cassid Berry that I can hold on to. But now that I know he's Choice Scarfed and he's locked into Shadow Claw, I get the freest Muck switch of my life. And here's where I clicked Pursuit, figuring, you know what? I think he needs to keep this Mimikyu alive, because checks my Azelf with whatever health I have left, and it still can put in work for the rest of my team. So I felt like Pursuit was the best play, but instead Mimikyu will actually end up dying to the poison that Seismitoad set onto it. So Seismitoad with 2 kills already. Now here we have the Landorus Eye, and this is where I was starting to get a little worried, because I'm like, he shows a Z move. I'm like, okay, so he's just going to use Continental Crush on my Alolan Muck. I think I'm safe, but instead he shows the Z Sandstorm, and I was like, oh boy. I have nothing to switch into this, and I really don't want to sack anything right now. I go for the knockoff, and unfortunately, I mean, it's just unfortunate for him, I do end up getting the Poison Touch, which is actually going to matter a lot here now. I figure HP Ice is not going to kill me. He has to have HP Ice with me having a Salamence. So let me go out to my Azelf here on the Earth Power. He has to click Earth Power, and with this thing being Sand Force boosted, this is going to hurt a lot of my team. So now these next couple turns are just wearing down this Landorus with the poison. I just pretty much have to try and get it to end up killing itself so that I can get a safe Greninja switch in. You see the HP Ice there. Not going to do a lot of damage to my Alolan Muck, as the poison's going to start taking its toll. Now, he's just going to go for the HP Ice again, which is fine, because these are more turns of poison that I am just allowing him to use up. Now, I did not want to sack off my Greninja. I did not want to show him I'm Scarf Ninja, really. I just want him to really use up his Landorus, and he actually ends up going for the HP Ice and not KOing my Azelf. So now I'm sitting in a good spot. I have Azelf still alive. I have Greninja in the back still alive. Here I can just sack off my Azelf as I just go for the Thunderbolt just to weaken this, and then Azelf will fall to the Kangaskhan. Sorry for the little bit of lag there. But Azelf now managed to pick up a kill against Landorus, and unfortunately will fall again. I just have nothing to switch into this Kangaskhan. This was just stupid play on my part. I decided to go for the Dragon Dance here. I could have just gone to Ninja. I clicked Dark Pulse twice and game's over. Instead, I tried to stunt and get bopped by an Ice Punch. So, I mean, it was just stupid play on my part when I should have just gone to Greninja. I mean, that affected differential. Instead of it being 2-0, it now just becomes a 1-0 win, and Greninja will take out the Kangaskhan. But, I mean, just stupid play on my part for just trying to flex, show off some muscle there. Here comes the Metagross, and we will actually be able to pick up the 1-0 win, as Greninja will take out the Mega Metagross with the Dark Pulse. And we now advance to 4-0 with a plus 10 differential. It was a good game span. Unfortunately, that Poison Touch affected a lot on that Landorus. Granted, I did have a Scarf Greninja sitting in the back, but I mean, it was risky and dumb on my part, really, the way I played that late game, especially with the stupid Salamence play. That shouldn't have ever happened. It should have just been go to Greninja, click Dark Pulse twice, sit with a 2-0 win. But with all that being said, guys, I mean, go ahead, leave a like down on the video, go to Spanix channel, watch his side of the battle. He should have his up sometime today, same as mine. Subscribe to his channel for more ICBA. Check out his sides of the ICBA battles. But with all that being said, guys, I'm John AGB. We're going to be looking to advance to 5-0 next week against the Portage Herdiers and their coach, Kurt. So keep an eye out for all of that coming up, as well as a new league draft recap in the near future. But with all that being said, guys, I am Johnny GB, and I'm out.